No. All right, in 3, 2, 1. Welcome to another episode of Pop Talk. This is episode 6. We are coming to you on Thursday night. That is December the 23rd. Yes, December the 23rd. All right. So then, yeah, Christmas is coming up. You know who it is, Professor Nims, the pundit with the PhD in pugilism. I am joined by my man to the left, the right of me is going to be Rand.
What's up? What's up?
The man with the best name in boxing media, the casual Rand. And then below me, we got Bosston Jarod. Don't forget the S. And the man who likes to bring in the philosophy. He has a holistic way that he looks at the boxing game and everything. It's not just about the physical and the mental. It's like metaphysical. We got my man, Coach Dave. All right. So as we kind of wind down to the end of the year, we want to kind of talk about some some high level, some big ticket items out here, but we also want to find a way to infuse some of the more current boxing things, because there were some good fights that came up. But in doing that, tonight we are going to talk about the Spence Crawford, and I labeled this the debacle, but we're going to talk about exactly where we sit at with that fight, or which seems like a farce now. We also want to look at the 135 landscape, 135-pound landscape, and really get a clear picture going into 2022. Also, we want to, there's been some news in the heavyweight division, so we want to kind of give people a clear picture of what that looks like at that moment. And then, because it's always my man Boston's favorite topic, we're going to talk about Canelo's next move. And that would also, there were some implications from this, some fight this weekend, but you know, he's the cash cow. I think we can all agree on that at this moment. So we want to see going into 2022, what is the next move for my man, Canelo. But let's jump into this. So we know that recently there was an agreement for some step aside money. And I'll let Bosston Jarod with the linguistic tongue kind of tell us who stepped aside for Ugas, that allowed Ugas to fight Spence.
Thank you. Sorry about that. I had yeah. So I, we talked about this weeks ago. And this might have come up on one of our, maybe our first episode that we did. The WBA, for whatever reason, mandating this tournament and preventing a unification fight between Danny Ulga and Spence. And I think we all thought that there would be a step aside check that got cut to Stanionis, and it never happened. It never happened. And we started seeing Stanionis fights on Showtime, and I said, "Oh man, that's not a good sign." But eventually, I guess somebody got to the number that Stanionis and his promotional team or his handlers were looking at, and we probably will never know what that number is. I'm guessing it's well over 6 figures, probably well into the 7 figures, to get him to step aside. And so Stanionis took the step aside money. The WBA is sanctioning Danny Ulga versus Spence, and I mentioned this on text, man. I think this is this is not an easy fight.
It's not an easy fight. But do you like the fight? Do you like the fight?
Yes, it's not the fight I want. It's not the fight I want, but I'm definitely intrigued. I'm more into, I ain't gonna go there. It's the fight. It's definitely a good fight. Not the fight I want, but it's a good fight. It is a very, very dangerous fight for Spence, who has been very inactive over the last, 2 years? He's fought twice in 2 years?
Yeah.
So,
I think that's a kind of a really good summation of it, is that for me, and I can maybe a little bit more kind of Team Crawford than Spence, but I'm not mad at this fight for certain things. One, I think a lot of it has to do with Ugas. I think he's kind of earned this opportunity. Like he took advantage of the opportunity against Manny Pacquiao, won that fight, and he deserves to get this opportunity to fight. And I think Spence ultimately wins out, but I think he poses because of his size, his range. I think he has a pretty good jab. I think it's longer. It's not as probably strong as Spence's jab, but it's a little bit longer. So that causes some problems. Coach Dave, he's been stroking his beard over there. He has not agreed with the words of me and Bosston Jarod. So I'll let you weigh in at this point.
Bottom line, I'm gonna be quick, man. Look, Spence gonna knock this dude out. Spence gonna stop him.
Wow.
Listen, man, hands down. Be it Porter, Pacquiao. Well, no, let me say especially Pacquiao. So I looked at the fight again. Look, man, jab or no jab, the dude stands too still for a fighter like Spence. Additionally, he gives away too much body shots. His guard is too high and his elbows are overly protruding. So I'm telling you, Spence is going to knock this dude out. I don't think it's going to be as hard of a fight as what people think on no level. I'm not even considering, is Spence back from the Spence is going to stop this dude. Spence is going to stop this dude. I'm going to watch the fight probably one more time. If I got to give a prediction tonight, I will, but I want to watch one more time. But I watched it enough and seen that boy enough. Spence is going to stop this dude.
I like that. I mean, I like a blow. Some people want to stand on the fence, but I don't see that. But at the same time, you point out some things that maybe I didn't take note of. But the casual ran. What are your thoughts on this? I mean, your man got a get out of jail free card, right? So up and down the
board, we all say that Spence is gonna win this fight. But I guess we've been tiptoeing down around the real conversation, which is the Spence Crawford, and then the back and forth on the Twitter and all the other stuff, and even the sisters getting into a Twitter war with each other. I don't know what's about on the Crawford side. Y'all know I'm Team Spence. He said what he was going to do 2 years ago, and he's doing what he said he was going to do 2 years ago. So all the conversation talking about he ducking this or that's absurd. And then on top of this, so we got Spence fighting Ugas. Who Crawford gonna fight? Who I mean, for the first half of the year, who Crawford gonna fight? Is he gonna be punk out and just sit and wait rumors in the summer?
I heard some I've heard some murmurs of
Prograde
Taylor,
Prograde or Josh Taylor. Why you got Boots right there? You got Boots right there. If you talk about you pound to pound, fight who's in front of him. Boots is calling him out left and right now.
So
I bet you won't answer that.
He should fight Spence's mandatory. What part is it? What part of the game is that?
Spence is fighting for a belt front mandatory. So it does nothing. So Spence is fighting the other belt. What is Crawford going to do? He gonna fight Vesputin.
Now Virgil.
You gonna bring Amir Khan back to fight? I bet you he. You know what I'm saying? His course of action is sit out and wait for Keith Thurman to fight 2 fights from now.
Yeah, that ain't. We be waiting until he's 50 years old to fight him.
Prograde, a 140 Prograde.
Virgil.
Or fight a Green or Virgil Ortiz with 15 fights.
Right, but Virgil's a Mexican. You go down to Texas, you fight him in Texas. That Nebraska crowd can drive down from Nebraska to someplace in Texas. That's a good fight.
That is going to be a bum fight. It's going to. I hope they don't put it on pay-per-view because it's only going to be like 20,000 people in there. Ortiz can't fill a crowd, and Crawford ain't filling no crowd.
Are you sure? Are you sure about that? Black versus Mexican on a Mexican holiday, maybe? I think that
okay. Once you building, you building up, you know what I'm saying, with a Mexican holiday, you know what I'm saying, Cinco de Mayo, and then we're gonna add some.
I mean, that's the formula, though. It's not rocket science, Randy. Like I don't understand, but like you said, who does he fight, right? And out of all the names that there, if we go on to boxing scene, look at the rankings. I think Virgil Ortiz is the name that makes the most sense. Even though
who was he signed to?
Stay away from Ortiz and
who was he signed to at this moment?
That's a good question. I don't know.
That's what's going to determine it. If he was, because we're all talking about these top ranked fighters.
Crawford's not signed to anybody, so Crawford can go wherever Virgil's at.
Yeah, this is a free agent, so I don't.
His last fight was on the zone, though.
Why you asking who he signed for if he a free agent? He could fight anybody.
Virgil's affiliated.
I wasn't clear.
Virgil's affiliated. Virgil's last fight was on the zone.
Yeah, Virgil's affiliated. So, but that's an easy fight to make, though.
It is. Yes, it is an easy fight.
Virgil's green. I just don't think that he'll get a lot of credit for doing that. It will be a good fight, but Virgil is really green, and he will stop Virgil. And then, but
Virgil's called him out. Virgil called him out.
It'll look like he's picking on Virgil. It'll look like he's picking on a green fighter. And
then Virgil shouldn't open his mouth. Then Virgil shouldn't have said nothing, right? Because if I'm Crawford, why do I jeopardize undisputed against Spence fighting a guy like Boots? I mean, that's the fight I would rather see. To be clear, Boots is the fight I would rather see. But if I'm being objective, and if I was managing Crawford, that's a very, very dangerous fight. I mean, Boots is just as green.
Just let me be clear. But all the conversations, everybody's saying Spence has ran from this, and this. Now it's coming clear. The picture is clear to me that it's Crawford that's going to make moves and stuff to protect his oath.
Wait a second. Well, you say
that's a big jump.
You just said
nobody here.
That was a big jump.
Nobody here said Spence ran. I believe that everybody.
Dave said it that 2 months, about a month ago.
Dave ain't say he ran. I don't think. I don't want to speak to Dave.
So look. No, what the discussion was about the numbers. I said about Crawford, had these guys fought him that we've been naming, then his numbers would have been higher. So look, that's what I said. So look, I don't think these guys are scared of anybody. In a nutshell, I don't think nobody's running. And I'm trying not to even get on the whole business side of it and all that stuff. And I got it, but that's what it is. I think Terrence Crawford can go and fight Josh Taylor, if the Earl Spence stuff doesn't happen. And then he either has a choice. He can either, fight Boots or Conor Ben. Get one of the up and come. I mean, these are the choices. So there's stuff out there for him to do. It's just that Spence fight. That Spence fight is definitely going to be the money fight. And if I was him, I wouldn't just throw, my fight. If I was managing him, I wouldn't just throw him out there to the dogs and risk anything because of the business side of it. So we can want to see. All the whoop ass we want to see, but at the end of the day, no, it's a business. It's a business.
Don't be surprised if he fights a Josh Taylor. He gets Josh.
Don't be surprised if he sits out. Don't be surprised. Gary Russell was sitting around for 18 months.
I know Gary Russell, and I know Terrence Crawford.
Listen to what tweets that Spence just put out. Spence just put out. I'm doing all the heavy lifting. Which y'all are co-signing right now with what y'all saying. If Spence is fighting champion after champion after champion, and then when it's time to come up with Crawford, and Crawford only fought bums.
Well, do you really want to unpack that?
And then now you talking about it needs to be equal.
Come on, man. Let's unpack that. Yeah, great. Yeah, Spencer's got a higher level of difficulty, but was Crawford ever able to make fights with guys like Thurman?
He can
never ever get those fights.
That's not Spence. That's not Spence's fault.
It's not. It's not his fault, Randy. But for Spence to come out and say, "Oh, I'm doing all the heavy," that's a disingenuous statement when you know that.
Look, you know what? I'm gonna say this, and this is gonna pretty much shut all this down.
Oh, please.
Wrap it up with this thing.
I really want to hear this.
We actually do need to move on. So go ahead.
All right, just last thing.
We got to move on.
Hold on. When Crawford moved up from 140, 147, he was a WBC champion. He could have made been made the mandatory for Spence for WBC belt.
Spence said get a belt.
Not to.
Spence said get a belt.
Come
on, Randy. You leaving out mad shit, Randy.
He chose this. So don't give me that. Oh, he ain't get to fight everybody.
Man.
He chose
Randy.
his bed. He laying it, and this.
We need to move on.
Randy, Spence said get a belt. Spence and Thurman and Danny, all them niggas told Bud to get a belt.
It is. Hey, but
and then he went and got a belt, and then they said you on the wrong side.
It is.
No matter what you say, Spence is not the
real life
sanctioning body
right now.
So the rule is, if you a champion at the lower and you move up, you can become the mandatory for the same belt. It's not
Randy, I can tell you right now.
That's what's in the sanctioning.
Randy, I thought we were
Randy, I can tell you right now. Just one real quick. Demetrius Andrade and his people have had the ability to go up and become Canelo's mandatory since
now
the
we're talking about Demetrius Andrade. Come on.
No. What I'm saying is that Randy's saying that when you move up, you can become the mandatory.
Yeah, I do understand
the sanctioning body rules. When the reality is the sanctioning bodies do whatever the promoters and the A sides tell them to do. Right? It's not that simple, Randy. If it was that simple, Bud would have done that shit years ago.
No, because
they do what all the money do. Guys, let's move on. Hey, come on. Like, guys. All right. We've done this before. Bosston Jarod, man. We were talking about the 135 landscape. Now you have some information that will help us out. One of the reasons that we do want to come back to this is that Coach Dave did not have an opportunity to kind of weigh in when we were looking at, the four princes who find to be kings, which would be
four prospects.
Yeah, I would call them princes. I will give them that. So we got Lomachenko, we got Tank, we got Haney, and then we got Lopez. So we want to see. We know how they perform going forward. Lopez probably had the biggest flop in there. Haney. Probably Haney and Lomachenko. Well, Lomachenko would, I would say, probably had the best results, and then Tank and Haney, we can kind of debate about that. But where do you see this playing out? And Coach Dave, we'll start with you to you didn't have an opportunity to weigh in, and then where are we kind of going forward with the 135 landscape?
So for me, so although, on any given day, to be honest with you, within this division, and I also say in the heavyweight too, once we get there, I think on any given day, man, be it what Lomo and what Lopez has shown, is that on any given day, any one of these guys can lose. I still personally think that Tank is at the top. I honestly, personally, would probably put Haney second, Gamboa, Lomo, Lopez, and then of course Garcia. That would probably be my ranking of these jokers. So honestly, man, I Lomo, Lopez,
Haney, yeah.
Did they just have bad days? And I think in this division, I don't give Lomo. I mean, for not what he did to Comey. I mean, it's Comey. I appreciate Comey, man, but flat-footed, slugging, leaning his head forward.
He's fighter. Limited. Like he's got the best.
Right. He's extremely limited.
Yeah.
Now I don't know who the Chinese. I can't remember the Chinese guy name. I don't know if it's Nakatani, Nakinaki, or something like that.
It's Nakatani.
Nakatani. There's Fortune. I think there's a lot of underlying sleepers that if they just catch one of these guys, at the right time, any one of these guys, from Haney to Lopez, to Gambosa, could get another loss. I think the most consistent individual in this weight division right now is Tank. So where does it go? If somebody spends the money and put those quote 4 horsemen together or whatever, I think Tank is gonna ride it out. If they keep on just people fighting, I think we got some underliers up in here. And I can't remember my guy from Ukraine, Barinkachenko, something like that. I can't remember his name.
Branchek is a 140 pounder.
Well, yeah. All right. Well, 135, 140. Maybe I'm just thinking about cats going up and down. I thought he was in that 135 pounder. But
Branchek's the guy that lost to Prograis or Taylor or one of them guys. If it's the same guy, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I'm saying this. Tank is still the dominant. Put them together. Tank gonna win it. If I had to rank these fools, I would go with Tank. I would go with doggone Haney. Probably, like I said,
you would put Haney over Lomachenko?
I would put Haney over Lomachenko, man. I just think, and again, I don't count what he did against Comey as showing that comeback. It was Comey. That just, and don't mean to disrespect anybody, but it was Comey, bro.
But even when he with Nakatani, because he smashed him, and then I think a lot of people gave him. So we have to be careful about giving fighters credit for a loss, right? We gave him a lot of credit because he gave Lopez problems, right? He still ended up losing the fight, right? It was,
he beat Felix Verdejo too.
But look, that's why I said on any given day in this division, man, is what I'm telling you. Any one of these cats can lose. There's only been one solid, consistent one, and that's been Tank.
I think Loma gives the business to Haney, but I mean, I was right. Like I thought Lopez might have been the best. So I don't know. I should be quiet on this one, but
what is the question? What is it we're trying to figure out to get to the bottom of it?
The question was, he asked, is like, where do I see it going out of those four? So what I did is I mentioned those four, saying I think Tank is the most consistent. Second piece of that is that this division is very, very fickle. I think it could go either way because a lot of these guys are being inconsistent. You got Haney always getting tired and getting caught going late into the rounds. You know what I'm saying? You got what happened to Lopez. I hope he's come back mentally or whatever. Was Gambosa thing a fluke? And then you got Lomachenko when he lost. And then I'm not giving a lot of credit to Lomo for what he did to Comey because it's Comey. So the thing of it is, I think Tank is the dominant, consistent individual. And then second thing I did is that I had to rank them. I would go with Tank. I literally would go with Haney. Then I honestly would go with Lomo in that order.
So
So go ahead, Cam.
Well, I was saying right now, I think it's interesting that one of the matchups that we don't talk about a lot, and I think we should, is the only two that are undefeated out of that bunch is Tank and Haney. Maybe
who has the highest strength of opposition? Who's fought the best guy?
It's not even. Within the four. The four, I think it's Lomachenko.
No question, it's Lomachenko.
Yeah, I think it's Lomachenko. Yeah.
But when Dave says consistency and he says Tank, and I look at the guys that Tank has fought, Tank's the fight before this guy Pitbull Cruz was 104. Sorry, go to Randy. I'm sorry, hold on. Go to Randy. I'm sorry.
Yeah, man. I put Lomo over Haney. I mean, Lomo shows no matter what he lost. He lost Teofimo, but he can take those punches. You know what I'm saying? And I think like Teofimo and Tank is probably the two hardest hitters in that division. And then if you taking the punches, I don't think Haney could do anything
that'll keep people off of him.
Really hurt Lomo. So I put Tank at number one. Only reason I got my doubt against Tank just starts so slow. And then he gets the pounding on you, but he's a slow starter. You know what I'm saying? And I think if he fought another handed person, I think in the 135, the only two other heavy-handed people, I would say Lomo a little, but I mean, y'all been like crapping on Teofimo, you know what I'm saying? But all right, he did have a bad loss, but I think if he got his head right, I think he could do damage. But at the same time, I think he's never going to fight at 135 again. But if he did, I still put him in the top three over undefeated Haney. That's what shows you respect that guy for Haney.
My issue is, sorry about that. My issue with Tank is, again, it goes back to the guys he's fought. The last fight he fought was a 140-pounder, a guy named Barrios, who was a respectable guy, but a guy who hasn't accomplished much at 140, and never fought at 135 that I'm aware of. The guy he fought before Barrios was a guy in Leo Santa Cruz, who was a 126-pounder, I believe, who's never competed at 130 or at 135. So, look, my eyes tell me that Tank beats these guys. But if I look at it empirically, Lomachenko has demonstrated a high level of skill against a higher quality of opposition. And you know, I as a boxing fan, I've given guys the benefit of the doubt off the eye test for a while because of boxing politics. Boxing politics prevents a lot of these guys from going out and fighting that high level of opposition. But given recent events here, I hate to, and I'm not saying this is you guys, but I listen to a lot of these YouTube talking heads. And for whatever reason, a lot of the black people on YouTube have a real hard time giving Lomachenko credit. I don't know what it is.
Hey man, Lomachenko's great.
Why.
He's great.
They don't give him credit because people like platforms like ESPN give him too much credit. ESPN put him as undefeated. That's fair. That's fair. I think that is fair.
Was ridiculous. But at the same time, people who are in the boxing know a good skilled boxer, good footwork, and you have to show that if you do want to be kind of taken seriously, that you can be objective in trying to evaluate somebody. The thing that happened with ESPN, that was effed up, but that has nothing to do with him. You know, that might be his management, but like, look at him in the ring, and does he pass the eye test?
Right, but Randy said it has to do with boxing discourse as a whole. And I think Randy is right. ESPN did overhype this dude. However, you look at the names on that dude's resume, and some of those dudes, Rigo was a small guy that he brought up, but people really believed in Rigo. I was a huge Rigo. I still am. I'm a huge Rigo fan.
He's a great
I believe in Rigo.
Did you see what they look like in the ring?
But it doesn't matter. But dude goes up and down too. You act like he's a big guy. But
people believed in Rigo.
He also he also embarrassed Walters. The guy,
Gary Russell.
Fighter.
Yeah. He went in there and really.
I give him Gary Russell.
Yeah. Who's got Gary, Rigo, Walters, Comey,
Linares? Stop him. Linares. You know what I'm saying?
Linares to me is a secondary win to them three guys, but still,
over
his resume. You said what?
But like stopping him over Comey,
I would pick Comey to beat Linares if they fought.
Well, at this point in his career, but go ahead, Coach.
I gotta say this. Hey, empirical data, bruh, I got it. I got it. You can look at it all you want to, man. You can look at the records. You can look at the names. You can look at it all you want to. Honestly, what I'm looking at, and me, I'm saying, because now in the same way that people might sit here and say they overrated or ESPN hyped up, Lomo, I'm saying several people get caught up on that man's name, Tank, and y'all totally dismiss that boy's boxing skill, hand speed, his footwork, and his evasiveness. Everybody, the majority of individuals are downplaying that boy's boxing IQ and that boy's skill.
Because who's he fought, Dave?
But I agree with Dave. I agree with Jared.
No, hold on, Jared. Hold on. Fuck that. Hold on. I'm not talking about who he boxed. I'm telling you about this man's skill. So what I'm coming at you with is this. Give me damn Lomo's, his footwork. Give me his speed. The best thing said today was when Randall, whoever said, man, Tank kind of starts out slow. And, Lomo might build up some of those rounds. But I'm trying to tell you, That boy got the movement, he has the speed, and he has the evasiveness and the ability to turn with those angles that Lomo does, and he will hurt that guy. I will put Tank catching Lomo because he is vulnerable. When people turn with him and punch, we've seen him drop. I would take Tank's boxing skills over that speed and angle that Lomo does because of Lomo's vulnerabilities. That's all I'm saying. So not the empirical data. I don't give a damn who he fought. I'm talking to you as now, as from a corner, from a coach's view. Here is the fight. It'll be a great fight. It'll be a great fight. And I will hope Tank, no, you can't get too far behind on that boy. You can't get too far behind. So it'll be a great fight. But I think Tank still gets that boy. Tank gets Lomo.
Yeah, I mean, it will be a great fight. I'm not sure if we can get any kind of permutation of any of those guys fighting. It will be a good 2022. If there's some kind of round robin tournament within there, then we are truly, truly blessed.
Yeah,
but
never. Boxing can get it out of its own way. So
we will though. We be positive. But to move on, we're gonna kind of take a bit of a nuanced look and really kind of step back and look at the heavyweight division right now, because to me it's a bit of a muddled mess at this point. So even though we have Deontay Wilder, who is kind of, to me, semi-retired, Tyson Fury, who I think is a brilliant boxer, is still a very much a wild card. Usyk is proving all the naysayers wrong. A lot of people give him a pretty good chance against Tyson in there. Then there's Anthony Joshua, who to me seems to be maybe the most kind of mentally weak out of all of that bunch. And then I want to throw in a name that I think that we're kind of forgetting about. He's actually fighting on January the 1st, and that is the heavyweight Luis Ortiz, and he is fighting Charles Martin, which I think he's probably going to smash him. But if you think about him, it's on pay-per-view. Are you serious?
Yeah, against all the college bowl games.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the business brilliant acumen of the folks at PBC there.
That's just more evidence to your statement, but we're not going to kind of go there. But this is really it's a little bit troubling to me, because there is momentum that you want to be able to take advantage of and leverage that you have after some really, really good fights. And right now, because of this unwillingness of some of the top fighters to get in a ring with each other, and then there's this kind of uncertainty about people's future in the sport, that the kind of one of the most important divisions to boxing, because of its the kind of popularity sometimes lies with the heavyweight division. I think that is really not holding up its end of the bargain at this point. For me, what I would like to see, of course, is I would like to see Anthony Joshua fight Tyson Fury. That fight has lost a lot of cachet. It doesn't seem to kind of hold the weight anymore. But I think it also does not give the respect to Usyk, who I think really, really is a good fighter. I think that because of Tyson's boxing acumen, that he would use his weight. He would do some borderline illegal stuff, right? It's only legal if they catch you do it, and that kind of sense, as Bernard Hopkins would say. And I think it might be a little bit right. So he wouldn't make the mistakes that a kind of, I think, mentally weak Anthony Joshua did. But the casual, let's go to the casual rant. So one question. So I want to kind of lead in with this thing. Where do you think Deontay Wilder stands in 2022 right now?
Hold on. Before I get to that,
Okay.
I disagree with your premise about heavyweight being in disarray. I think heavyweight is pretty much one of the clearer divisions where there's a path. I say that because if you look at the lineup, you know what I'm saying, if Joshua forces rematch clause with Usyk, Usyk's going to beat him, and then it's going to set up with Tyson. If Tyson, there's rumor right now that Tyson is going to vacate the WBC. If he vacate that, then that's going to put Wilder and White together. You know what I'm saying? That's a fight there. So the only loser that I see out of all these scenarios is Joshua. Joshua should have took that step aside money, and then, you know what I'm saying, when Tyson took care of Usyk, which he's going to take care of Usyk, is he's just too big, too strong, and he's fast to be that size. And once he beat them, he could have fought Joshua for a mega. We keep saying Canelo is a cash cow. Man, Tyson Fury is worldwide cash cow. So Joshua screwed himself because once he loses this fight right here, he's done. Even Wilder can beat White, and he can be another champion. I don't think there'll be a Fury Wilder 4, but I think that's two champions right there. I think you
think that's clear? That wasn't clear. That's a lot of hype. I don't. That wasn't that clear. But I mean, I'll go ahead, Bosston Jarod. You were.
No, I was just going to ask Randy. You think that Fury is the cash cow over Joshua?
I'm saying over Canelo. I mean, look at the fight. Look at the Wilder Fury fights. I think if Wilder, you know what I'm saying, I think Joshua screwed himself by not taking step aside money, because he's going to lose again to Usyk. And who's going to pay any money to see Fury Joshua with no belts and with a third loss?
The entire United Kingdom will pay.
That'll be that's just like saying Amir Khan, oh boy, yeah, they're going to pay for it.
Yeah, I mean, well, you know, American boxing is not the end all be all. I mean, there's dollars to be made in the UK.
There are dollars, but
in the Emirates. I mean,
there are dollars. These are fighters that are concerned about legacy, and like that wouldn't.
Yes, you know what I'm saying. So
it wouldn't be like Tyson Fury is.
Fury has an easy road.
Tyson Fury is only worried about
2 more times.
He's doing money fights.
Who?
I'm Tyson. He's saying that Tyson Fury is not worried about legacy. I mean,
I'm asking.
He's supposed to fight to do that. I mean, who else is he?
Fury has.
He went and fought. Listen, this guy went and fought Deontay Wilder when Joshua was running, when he was active. This guy came off of basically a 2-year layoff because he wanted to be great. I don't want to be.
I think he wanted to get paid. He knew he could beat him. I think he saw.
This guy could have got triple fighting Joshua in a stadium out there. It might have been there, but
well, that's true.
The heavyweight besides out of the 4 is dangerous for Fury.
Nobody.
Usyk.
Oh, well, that's not true. You know, if we really look at Fury and you look at like the Otto Wallin fight as an example, and maybe people might say that he didn't show up for the Otto Wallin fight. Otto Wallin put a vagina on Tyson Fury's face, and that fight was very, very, very close to getting stopped. If that had been anybody else not named Tyson Fury, that fight, and the fight had not been on ESPN, that fight may have gotten stopped and Otto Wallin might have won. I don't know that Tyson Fury is this indestructible force. He is massive and he is very, very skilled.
He's got some mental
lapse. A guy with the right style, a guy that can get in his chest,
like a Usyk.
So I don't think Usyk is not Usyk.
So, let me ask you.
I was thinking somebody with that Joe Frazier kind of style. Some guy that can get up under his punches and get in his chest and get to his body and shoot shots up the middle. I think he can be beat. I don't know if that guy exists.
No, but Bosston, let me ask you one question. So how many southpaws did Lennox Lewis fight?
You got me on that. I'm rusty on Lennox. That era.
None. It was zero.
Okay.
Oh, not one. Because they're not a lot. They are super, super rare within the heavyweight division in there. So, and he has, sometimes just by the fact that if you are a slick, if you kind of slick with it, just by the fact that you are a southpaw, it gives you a little bit of an advantage defensively, right? You have
not when you're 50 pounds undersized. I mean, Usyk is.
I give Usyk you have to be a brilliant fighter, and Usyk has proven that he might be a brilliant fighter.
I don't know. I think that I've always thought that Anthony Joshua was overrated. I never really.
I could see that. I mean, I don't.
Joshua like
that's
that.
not. Yeah.
So for Usyk to go up and beat him, and look, to be fair, Usyk was the massive underdog, and I did not pick Usyk to win that fight. Let's just be me be 100% clear. I did not pick Usyk to win that fight. I thought that he could outbox Joshua until Joshua caught him. And Joshua never caught him, and that was a lot because of what Usyk was doing. I just don't think Joshua is that dude.
He's not. I mean, yeah.
I don't want to take away too much from what Usyk has accomplished, man, because he made himself put himself on the pound for pound list with that fight. I just don't. I just never really believed in Anthony.
But I mean, he's all. I want to say, I think he's always been a pound for pound fighter, and I think people even said that he probably had the best, like one of the best kind of undisputed kind of reigns at a point. So
them dudes he fought. Go back and watch some fights. The Mario Leaders fight, the Yuniel Dorchikos fight, the Gassiev.
Yeah.
Those dudes were serious dudes with hundreds of amateur fights.
Yeah.
All the amateur pedigree you want. And them dudes have probably fought Usyk in the amateurs before. Them dudes are probably very familiar with him. Them dudes he fought were better than the dudes that Crawford fought to get undisputed.
No, he definitely has that, but we don't want to bring Crawford in there. But Coach Dave, at this point, who do you think is the best heavyweight? And then where are we at with this division?
So, I'm trying to look back, so all right, I won't totally disagree with Randy, right, where he said it was where he said it might be more solid.
Yeah, it's a bit of a clearer path.
I think that path is more so cemented in name, notoriety, instead of that damn thumpology. And what I mean by that, man, is this in name. I mean, it's just the basic names over and over and over again that we hearing. Even you even brought up Ortiz, I think, as we was talking about it.
Yeah.
So my take on it is this. I do think Tyson Fury, love him or like him, he's just gonna be a difficult nut to crack, but I think his time is limited. I think Tyson Fury's time is limited. Me in the heavyweight, Joshua, I think Deontay Wilder is always going to have a puncher's chance, but until he gets some real solid skills, people by now to know how to avoid that right hand. See what I'm saying? My thing on it is, and the only one that out of those names that I did hear that I'm looking to see what happened, and I haven't followed up with him in a while. Andy Ruiz. Last time I looked, I think he was working with Canelo a little bit, and he was getting some.
He's firmly in that. Yeah, Reynoso. Yeah, he's firmly in that camp.
He was getting some serious help from Canelo. So you're looking at a shorter fighter that can work and get on the inside, be a southpaw or not, that can kind of do those things that Jarod was talking about. But that's something that's yet to be seen. And with him, it's always going to be a discipline issue. So I personally think that the path is kind of already laid out because there are still, quote, big money fights out there based off of names. But I'm more so sitting back, looking at what Ruiz might come out and do. But then also I'm trying to look at Jared Anderson and another of these other young cats. Look what's coming, what's moldering.
And
Joe
Joyce and some other ones. And we do want to give them, and there are some good, and just because it's muddled doesn't mean that it's not interesting. But as far as determining who's the best fighter, I would say that Tyson Fury is. I would pick him, but I think that a fight against Usyk is very interesting, and I just want to see him possibly knock out Joshua.
Yeah.
All right,
Now,
so
now that fight.
go ahead, Dave. I mean, yeah. Go ahead, Coach.
One other
Like,
thing.
go ahead and wrap it up for us.
Yeah. And I'm not even gonna. You know what? And I'm not even gonna say it because I hate getting on the whole money fights and stuff like that. But you're right. Did I just say that Joshua and Tyson will still be a great fight? Tyson stops him. You know what I'm saying? Tyson and Usyk is going to be a good fight. I give that thing a 50-50 chance, to be honest with you. If Usyk can catch him. If Usyk can catch him. Tyson is a master. I think Tyson is a master boxer. But I honestly, man.
Usyk is like, he kind of shows some signs that like this guy is and he came up his pedigree is legit. So
he's fought everyone. He's fought everyone since the time he was 16. Since the time he was 16, he's been in the best fighters in the world. Absolutely. And that shit means something.
And he is not afraid of the moment. He just takes it in. He just kind of he seems so comfortable in it. Where Joshua, ice cold.
He's ice cold. He playing with house money, man. Because nobody gave a fuck about Usyk. Exactly. Nobody gave Usyk no props when he was undisputed.
Okay, Cam, to end this where we started, you asked what's the where does Wilder go from this? I say he has 2 fights before he retire. He fight Dylan White for the belt, and then he fight Joshua after Joshua loses the Fury.
Hey. If that happens, because I think he's gonna retire. I'm saying this now. I'll buy you a steak dinner. What's that? Whatever. I don't know what's that, but I owe you a steak because I think he's gonna retire. And then if you do that, then give me some, shrimp scampi, whatever.
Well, have you guys?
But Bosston Jarod, like I'm throwing this right to you because this weekend I saw something that was. You can look at it a couple of different ways. One, a lot of people try to say that Better BF, you know what I'm saying? He destroyed Marcus Brown. He did that. For me, from what I saw, I was not really impressed. I saw somebody who I thought was very much an arm puncher. And then if I am Canelo, I'm licking my lips. Like, I want
you
all
go
that
ahead.
work. So
you go ahead.
Tell me what you thought about their performance, and then tell me what is Canelo's next move. The floor is yours.
You go ahead. You go ahead. And like I said, and like I've always said to you and to Dave and every single Canelo Alvarez fan, you fans of Canelo believe more in Canelo than him and his team believe in himself. Why would you move up and fight the guy who fought Black Panther in Baku for 1 belt when you could fight Better Beef for 2, or you could have fought the winner of Better Beef Marcus Brown for 2? That motherfucker Marcus Brown is an Olympian. He's not some easy out. And he folded that motherfucker up with arm punches. He hit that dude in his body one time, and I thought that Marcus Brown had a microphone on his trunks. That is how hard this nigga hit him in his body with an arm punch. You want to get in there and trade shots with that guy? You go ahead. I'll give Canelo props just for signing the contract. It is very, very hard for me to believe that you would not fight Benavidez, which is a massive fight, a huge fight. You fight David Benavidez on a Mexican holiday, and you will make more money. You get a little piece of them pay-per-view buys. You will make more money than. It's a huge fight. You won't fight Benavidez. You won't fight Charlo, but you'll get in there and you'll fight Better Beef. Better Beef is not the same 36-year-old that drunk ass Sergey Kovalev was. This guy is a righteous Islamic Muslim 36. This guy don't drink. He's been fighting his whole life. He comes from a part of the world where them motherfuckers come up tough. Them motherfucking in Chechnya, them motherfuckers come up the hard way, okay? In the ring, this guy is not some mindless brawler, okay? He's been in all the amateur pedigree you want. There's a sophistication and a technicality to what he does.
That's true.
And I have never seen Canelo Alvarez go in there and take apart a southpaw a skilled, lanky southpaw
Really?
the way that he did. No.
Austin,
Hell no.
I mean,
hell no. He was losing to Billy Joe Saunders.
Yeah.
Austin Trout gave him everything.
I mean, he broke the guy's face. I mean, come on.
You said what?
He broke the guy's face.
That's one punch. Okay.
I mean, that's
everybody watching that fight had him down.
You saw him set it up for 3 rounds.
No, he didn't. Come on.
Oh wow.
Look. Okay. I don't want to go Billy Joe. I'm not a Billy Joe fan. I'm not a Billy Joe fan, so I don't want to give Billy Joe too much props. Look, Andre Ward came out and said a bunch of shit about Better BF. People wanting to fight him.
Really? He's
had 2 belts now for a while. Bivol, for whatever reason, don't want no smoke with him, who has fought him in the amateurs, by the way. Joe Smith, don't want no problems with him for whatever reason. So, okay.
All right. I mean,
look, you think Canelo, I would love for Canelo.
But let's throw it to the casual rant, because actually, you're one of the most objective when it comes to Canelo. I will give you kind of credit for that, but what do you see? Were you impressed with Better BF, and where do you see Canelo going for his next move? Because like apparently
I don't see him going up
that fight got stopped got nipped in the bud, right? Because the guy didn't.
I don't see Canelo going up to fight him. But I think this next fight is going to show you where Canelo's camp's mind is at. You know what I'm saying? If he fight a Benavidez or set up with Better BF or a contender, that shows that Canelo wants to fight the best and be known as the best. Or he could continue what he's been doing and picking and choosing, paying a fighter $6 million plus, and he's going to be the boxing version of Logan Paul. And it's gonna because right now no boxing sanction can force him to fight anybody. The boxing
version of Logan. What?
No boxing sanction can force him to fight anybody. He's just going around up and down.
Why don't you say Mayweather? Why don't you say Mayweather?
You get a car. You get a car.
Or like Pacquiao. You're gonna go to a non-boxer? Like, isn't that what Mayweather did? Come on. And like Pacquiao,
after years and years of fighting the best guys in boxing.
This guy fought Listen, I remember where we were at when he fought Mayweather, because you were flirting with this boxing female. I hope we're not anybody now. But you were flirting so much. You were flirting so much that you were just like, I think it's a draw. What do you think?
I didn't even watch the fight, nigga.
You were right there. I looked at Red. I was like, this dude. And she was.
Remember that shit, nigga.
I know you remember. But Coach Dave, what do you? I don't know if you have any thoughts on Better B. I know you remember that because I know you looked right at her. It was like, I think it's a draw, because she was going for Canelo, but he was 23. But we've been seeing this guy for over a decade fight the best fighters in the world. But go ahead, Coach Dave.
Wow.
Hey, I mean, I wouldn't call myself a diehard Canelo fan, man, or none of that stuff. I just, again, you know, I'm always coming at it from a holistic look and looking at it, man, with the boxing skills. And to be honest with you, though, one thing I will say, because the guy moving around so much, man, I mean, who could really say where should he go? He just, I mean, really. So I'm not taking nothing away from what Jarod said, Randy, you know, it's just like, look, man, I get it, but I do like those, and this might be a personal preference. I like those fighters that let's clean up that division before we get to hopping and skipping and moving and going on. I'm just an old school joker like that, man. So what I would like to see, I think the best #1 fight, it ain't even Better be, even if he fought, you know, would Better be there, you know, I got it. And I come back to you in a sec, Jarod. I wish the Joker, you know, we may never see a Charlo or a Benavidez fight. We may never see that, man. But that would be beautiful. That would be beautiful. Pick either one of them.
Like, I would bet that out of those two, like I would bet you I don't know if you like steak. I would bet you a steak dinner that Canelo will fight one of those two guys. Benavidez or one of the Charlos.
So I think I think this Benavidez and I think Canelo wins the fight. And here's the deal. And I think he wins it to a point where Jarod, bro, hey, look, man, we can bet $100 on it, man. And so I'm putting it out there. And look, here's the deal. Here's why I think he win the fight. Make no mistake about it, man. That daggone Joker hit hard. Better beat it, man. That Joker
hard. He will break your ribs.
Look,
like trust me.
Listen,
he will break your ribs. That guy will break your ribs.
He will speak. He hits. He legitimately is a hard. It ain't manufactured, bro. That Joker just got that torque in that right hand.
You're right, and he's
a big wide.
As a corner man,
wide punch too. That's a big wide punch. I tell you what.
Dave.
I tell you what. Hold on,
let you wrap up.
I'll tell you what, Dave. I will give you $50 if he signs up to fight Benavidez or Beterbiev. And when Beterbiev and Benavidez steamroll him, all you gotta do is give me the 50. How about that?
Hey, listen. All I'm saying. So out of those three, even Charlo,
which three?
So Benavidez, Charlo, or Beterbiev, I think Benavidez has the best chance to beat Canelo. Yeah. That's what
they all lose, and we agree because you already all right. We all agree that they all lose when it comes down to it. So
you and Dave agree.
No, I think we all agree.
Nah, we don't all agree. At this point, honestly,
I want to let you what I want to do is let you kind of have a little 30-second or something like that, rant, but you can do that, and then after that we'll kind of close it up and we'll kind of talk about some of the next things. But go ahead. This is your opportunity. We're gonna let you have because you've been gnawing at the bit, literally. Go ahead. The floor is yours, Bosston Jarod.
Oh, me? No, I said what I had to say. What else you want me to say?
Because we were saying that I was saying that we all kind of agreed that Canelo, that we would favor him to win all of those fights between those.
No, I absolutely not. And for me,
that's what I'm saying. Go ahead, and then make the case why he would not be nice. Go ahead.
Hey, look, my position has always been this with Canelo. Why should I, as a fan, believe in this guy when he don't believe in himself? When he knows he can win, he sends offers. You saw what he did with Callum Smith. You saw what he did with Sergey Kovalev. You saw what he did with Caleb Plant. He sent them guys multiple offers. Them guys turned offers down. He kept sending them offers. But guys like Charlo can't get one offer. Demetrius Andrade can't get one offer. Benavidez can't get one offer. So how come these guys can get all the offers in the world, but them dudes can't? When he knows he can win, he sends an offer. When they're not sure, dudes don't get offers. And for me, I'm not going to believe in you if you don't believe in you. He don't sit here and talk crazy about guys and to be fair, he don't talk crazy about nobody. But again, he sends offers to guys he thinks he can beat. He don't send offers to guys he don't think he can beat. To me, skipping over Beterbiev, who has the WBC belt, by the way, the We Beat Canelo belt, and the IBF, to go fight the guy who lost to Black Panther, tells me everything I need to know about this guy.
Okay,
why are you going to cruiserweight?
We got three. All right, so Benavidez, Charlo, and Beterbiev. So in 2022, I'll bet you steak dinner that he will fight when it's this is a little bit easier than me because mine is with him is just those two, but this actually ups my odds that I think he'll fight one of those three guys. Are you willing to stake your claim and reputation on that?
Charlo is a threat.
I think that
I'm getting lobster on you because you got money. And there,
Charlo
you got money. I know they're I'm getting lobster.
Me? You talking about the contractors? Not me. I'll tell you this. You know what? I was talking with somebody about this the other day. I think David Morrell if that David Morrell Benavidez fight gets made, I think Morrell picks off Benavidez. I really do.
I don't see.
I really do. I really do. Call me crazy.
I want to like him.
Call me crazy. Call me crazy.
Doesn't have all that.
Crazy.
All right. With that said, I think we are coming out to the hour. We appreciate it. So this has been 6 weeks, so a month and a half. We actually just secured a new partnership with Loose Cannon videos, and they're going to be doing our video editing and some other things. So you're going to kind of see a little bit of production value to this. So we want to make sure that you do like and subscribe, and we're going to have some news next week when we do our end of the year awards. But if there is something particularly that you might want to hear us speak about, please leave some comments down in the comment section. But make sure that you do like and subscribe. This is Professor Nims. I want to give a shout out to my man, the Casual Rand. And right there, the man with the philosophical take on all of this, Coach Dave.
Keep punching, baby.
And then Bosston Jarod. Don't forget the S, Trap God. You know what I'm saying? Keep it out there. So, no, he's out there. So we appreciate y'all joining us. We are the Pundits of Pugilism, and we're going to sign off.
Pig.